And we are back with part 2. So as stated in the last video, we went over this UML diagram, and today we will transform this UML diagram into working code. The first thing I should do is let me set up a timer. Let me do 45 minutes. Yeah, that seems good. And okay, let me move this to off screen. Actually, no, I'll create a project first. Okay, so Qt creator, by the way, this is Qt6. Create project. It's going to be a console or widgets. Let me just read up on what is required of me because I honestly forgot. Let's see. If I scroll down, I need to. I decide on the design of the GUI. It can be done manually or using Qt Designer. Okay, so I can use Qt Designer, so I can use the widgets application. Actually, I'm going to use the console application. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and it is going to be assignment 2 question 1. And where am I going to put it? Let me go to desktop. Qt6. Yeah, okay, this is where we'll do it. Cool. Which is obviously a shortcut just in my C drive, but hey, it's easier for me to find it that way. Assignment 2, question 1, and use as a default location. I'll use that as a default location. Yeah, okay, default location. It should pop up, not the backslash, but all of this should be my default location. The next time I create a project. Let's go to next. Build system, yes, CMake, no translation, and I'll keep the kit the same. And add to version control git, yep. And I'll do that. And this should fix itself in a few minutes or hopefully a few seconds. And that should also fix itself up there. Okay, cool. Now, if I were to try to include something like a Q push button, it doesn't even show up because it does not exist in my QMake list as of yet. So as stated in the last video, the difference between Qt6 and Qt5, the biggest being a .profile as opposed to the CMake lists.txt file. So to add these components, I need to do a few more things. So required components core and widgets. That should sort some of the stuff out. This part, let me see, required components core and widgets as well. And then target link libraries. Okay, let me see. I'll have to do another one. So I come here and after core, it's going to be Qt, $sign to refer to directory, and then variable Qt version major, I believe. You'll see if I'm right. Within that namespace, grab the widgets. We'll save that. And down here, let's see. And okay, cool, it all worked out. Now if I come back here and if I do include Q push button, and it pops up now and it should appear correct. There we go, cool. So now we have widgets available. The next thing is we need to start building this UML diagram or implementing it in code. And the first thing we'll do is we will begin with the person class. So we'll come back to this whenever we need to. For now, let me move it away. Okay, cool. Now this is obviously different from Qt5, so I'm still learning the environment. If I right click, I should be able to add new C++ class, yes. It is going to be the person class. I'm not going to inherit anything. Include QWidget, include QWidget. As of right now, I don't want to include anything. If need be, I'll do that then. Next, add to version control, yes. And there we go. I have my header files and I have my source files. Here's my header file. Okay. And just based on that UML diagram, I need to first, let me go to my private section. Actually, I need to include Qstring. That's the first thing I need. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to do that. I need to do forward declarations, right? So class Qstring. A forward declaration is just basically a promise to the compiler that yes, even though you are not including the necessary files, you are making a promise that the files will be included somewhere else. And what this essentially does is it reduces compilation time. If it were just one forward declaration, it wouldn't make much of a difference. But as the number of forward declarations increases, you will be saving meaningful time by reducing the amount of time the compiler needs to compile. Cool. So onto my private section, let's go back to that image and figure out what it is. I need to create m_name, m_affiliation, and m_email. And then I have 5 functions that I need to do. Okay. Just need to check something out for a second here. Just give me some time. Let's see, where is it? It should be, okay, not here either. Okay, correct folder, and it should be under this question, software review dialog. Cool, right, software review dialog. So I need Qstring, and I can begin creating my variables m_name, which is obviously type Qstring. I have another Qstring called m_affiliation. Spelled that wrong. That's right. Qstring m_. And if you aren't familiar with how the UML diagram was created, or if you just don't understand it, watch the last video that explains everything in depth. Field has incomplete type, no forward declaration. That I know, that's fine. This should not appear. It should actually be so typically, this issue should not appear if in my CPP file I have the include. So it's weird that it's appearing here. Semantic issue, I get that, but it should not appear. In Qt5, it will definitely acknowledge that something is wrong, but it won't have this annoyance here, which tells me that it's going to be like this the entire time. It would be best for me just to actually do the include, and when I'm done with the entire application, I'll then remove it just to save my head, just to save myself from seeing those annoying red lines. So I'll come here and I'll leave this include there. Okay, just to make things a little easier for myself. So after these 3 private variables, or aka members, I'll come to my public scope and I will do this. I have a Qstring called n, a Qstring called a, and a Qstring called e. Cool. And then a function that returns a Qstring called getName. And following the same pattern, we have a getAffiliation. And I spelled that wrong. Let me zoom in. Okay, much better. And then Qstring, and we will do a toString method. Okay. Now I should be able to right-click and let's see. Find references. Nope. Nope. Refactor, right? Should be this. Add definition in %CPP. There we go, and I'll get rid of this one. I wonder if we can do all at once. Refactor, create getter and setter method functions. Let's see what happens if I were to do that. That's weird. Let's see. Refactor, add definition, okay. Yeah, that works. Let's add definition. Now typically, let me do a refactor and I'll add definition again. And the only one left I have to just to show you how we would do it is you type up QString, you type out your class name, and within using the resolution scope operator, you can access the specific functions. In this case, get email. And that is where you will write your code. We will now pass in our initializer list by doing this, okay? It will be m underscore name. We'll pass in the constructor and we'll pass in n. I will then do m underscore affiliation. And we'll pass in a, and finally m underscore email, and I'll pass in e. Cool. Non-void function does not return a value. I know that. Return m underscore name. And these are all very simple. Return m underscore affiliation. This will get a lot harder when we are defining the actual logic, not just these simple functions. And when we are creating the GUI, that is where things will get difficult. I spelled it wrong. AFFLIATION. Yeah. And then return m underscore email. Cool. Now this getString function. How do I want to do it? Let me think. ToString. There are a few methods I can use. I can use the QString method and the placeholders and then replace those placeholders by actual values, which is what I think I will do. So return QString, and here I can just pass in placeholders, and I can then fill in those placeholders using actual values. So let's see. I have this class, I have this class. It should be this one, okay. It's not that one. That's weird. Is it this one? Okay, yeah, cool. QString, and within this I can pass in placeholders, which is done using the percentage and a number. So I'll pass in that. I will add a tab just to indicate some space, 2, a tab to indicate space, and 3. And then I can just chain it with the .arg function, which takes arguments and places those argument values into the placeholders. So in this case, I will pass in, let's see, m underscore name, m underscore affiliation, and m underscore email. Cool. And let me see, it's not committed yet. I know it's not committed. I don't need to be told that it's not committed. Okay. And that should be done with the first class. Let's see, and do I need any testing here? Return name, affiliation, email, and a QString method. Let's just go into our main function, and I'll remove QCore and I'll introduce QApplication. It won't be much of a difference if I control B to build and control R to run. Or I can just come down here actually. Application output, here you are. And that's it. We don't get anything, but it's successfully ran, okay? Miro terminal. Let me just see. Okay, on track files. Yeah, I don't want to add that build file. No need for me to add that. Okay, I'll come back to my application output. And let me just include that class just to make sure everything is working right, that being the person. Person.age. Cool. It's not used directly. Fix available. And then I can create a person object, p1, and I can just pass in some values, okay? Let's go with Zura, an affiliation, none, and pup at puppers.com. Cool. And if I were to include them, include Qdebug. And let me just do a Qdebug. That's weird. Qdebug of p1.get name space p1.get affiliation space again, and finally p1.get email, and we will also do a Qdebug. I should actually just print out a new line as well. Cool. And p1.toString. Alright. And if I do a control B, and if I do a run down here, or I can just use control R actually. And here it is. Although my placeholders, one argument missing. Okay, this is right. That's fine. One argument missing. Oh yes, because I'm supposed to chain the arguments. I don't use commas to separate it. That's the problem. Okay. So I can do a .arg again. And I can just pass it in, and finally I do a .arg. And I'll cut this out, and I'll just do some cleanup here. And something wrong. Expected. No, it should be right. Oh, okay. There we go. Right. Control S to save. And I'll go to my main file. I'll build it again. And I'll run. It's not very pretty, but that's working. And I'm still getting this issue here. Argument missing. 1, 2, 3. QString argument missing. Am I use multiple arg instead of the single argument? No, but it should be fine. Oh, I see what the issue is. Okay, cool. I passed 3 arguments, but I forgot to pass in my little percentage sign. And this is why we test our code, right? At individual early points. Control R. And there's our final output. Very nice. I wonder if I can run the clear. No, I can't. Just run clear up space and I'll run it again. And there we go. Azura, none. Pop at puppers.com. And for some reason, it's not validating my tab spaces. Which should be passed as another argument, I believe. So let's do 10, 10, and 10. Control B, and I'll come here and I'll run this. It still shows the T, though. That's weird. You are acting in a manner that I do not like. So, am I the problem? Am I doing something I shouldn't be doing? I could just look up the documents, but that's not a big issue. This is obviously just testing, and I don't need extreme precise spacing as of the moment. So Control B, Control R, and there we go, much better output. As one string as opposed to 3 strings, and that's it. But I'll just make it clear. Affiliated with the Dogs of Doom. Control B, Control R. Okay, and that's all good. The output is down there. Now let's see. What is the second thing that I need to get done? It should be the registration class, which is a one-to-many. Nope, it's a one-to-one composition. Okay, so it does not inherit from person, but it just uses a person object. That's fine. So I'll come back to let me just close these for now. Cool. And I'll come to my source files and I'll add new class. And this one is registration. Did I spell that right? registration. registration. Okay. Base class is itself. Can I add here? No, I can't. Next. And here we go. Cool. And let's see what it is that we need to do. I need to create two private variables and one public variable, an m underscore attendee, an m underscore booking date, and a standard fee. A person, a date, and a double. Okay. I am a person, I have no date, and I do not have doubles. I'm cooked. Again, I should have my forward declarations here, but Qt6 has been weird. So typically, you see that this says it's included, but it's not used directly, right? And that will obviously be solved once we actually create an object which uses the person class. However, the forward declarations, it typically doesn't give an error, but it does indicate an issue. It's basically the IDE will tell you, hey, this should be included, but forward declarations are allowed. However, in Qt6, as you saw a few minutes ago, it was just shouting at me a little too much. It was quite distracting. So again, there should be forward declarations, but for now, I will just leave it as regular includes. Qdate, Qstring. Okay. And let's start with my private section. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a person object called m underscore attendee. ATTENDEE. Right. Then Q date, m underscore booking date. And those are my two private variables. Under my public section, I should have a double called double. And typically when you do something in all caps, it's typically a constant. However, but in C++, you can just type in constant. Right? So I'm not sure, but I'll just follow the diagram. Standard fee. Cool. And then I'll create my functions. Registration to taking a variable called person and a. I then obviously have my getters and setters. So I think I can actually, if I click here and if I do refactor, do I have getters, generate getter and generate getter? Right, that's right. So this is right, okay. But did it get added? It didn't get added here, that's weird. So I'm still gonna have to add it myself, okay. So person get attendee. Cool. And then Qdate get booking date. What else do I need to do? A double of calculate fee. Calculate fee, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The finally it should be a Q string called toString. Okay. And get booking date. I will also just add the getter method. No, not getter. It generates. No, I don't want to set it. Why is it not letting me use the getter? Maybe because this is here. Cool. And m underscore attendee, and we'll pass in a. Cool. What else functions do I need to do? It should be calculate fees and toString. Alright, cool. And to send me again, right, I'm going to do a return QString. Why is that happening? Wait, what are you doing? Why are you behaving like a weirdo? That was very weird. Now I need to think. My first placeholder .arg can be m underscore attendee dot toString cool, which will return the name, the affiliation, and the email. I can then do another one, number 2, and that will be m underscore booking date dot toString. In passing date format, I'll just keep it default and I'll figure out whatever the hell that is. Warning. Use multi-arg instead. Nah, I prefer using my argument, it's fine. I'll fix that later. I don't want to use multi-arg, stop annoying me. And my third parameter will have to be I'm going to calculate the fee, so that should be enough because I'll get everything. The attendee. Yeah, I'll leave that as it is, and here I'm sure I was allowed to choose what the price should be, right? So I'm told that there are 3 registration types. So, let's see. I can register registration fees for a type of registration. The standard registration fee is the standard fee stored at standard fee. Okay, so I can choose what this is, hey? So I want to set standard fee, and I'll pass in a double. It's for a conference, right? Conference. What's an average price for a conference? Let's see. Average price for a conference. Let's see. I get so many damn returns here. Let me make it clear. Average price to attend a conference. I was getting things in the thousands. Here we go. How much to charge for an academic conference? What's a decent amount? Let's see. A whole PhD writing this. Cool. Need to consider in-person costs, food and drinks cost, networking activity costs, other costs, virtual costs, software costs, and yet there is no value that I can use. What? Registration fee. In person, 175. You know what? The standard fee, okay. Let's make it 500. That seems reasonable, you know, that seems fine. Calculate fees. Now I want to read this. Calculate fee. The UML class diagram. No two registrations are allowed to have attendees with the same email address unless the names are different. That's going to be done in my registration list, okay? Calculate fee. Let me look at this UML diagram again. I'll just zoom in. Okay. Calculate fee. This is the registration for one person. Calculate fee. The only thing that should do is tell me how much I am paying, which in other words, it should return standard fee. That's the only thing it can do, and it's the only thing that makes sense because this double, that double, there's no complex calculations going on here. Right, and that's it. Why are you annoying me with this multi-arg? Let's see if F1 works. There we go, cool. So if you are in Qt, I think Qt5, Qt6, I'm not sure about earlier versions, if you hover over a Qt defined type and you press F1, it'll bring up this cool help mode in the right corner by default. And you can look at all the things that you should be able to find online in the online documents. So .args method it's telling me to use. Here you go, .args. It replaces occurrences of the placeholder in the string with the corresponding arguments from args. The arguments are not positional. The first of the args replaces the n with the lowest n, all of them. Second of the args, the n with the second lowest, etc. If you want me to do that, fine, let's use that. Okay, I'll use it, and then I'll pass this in. I'm getting an error for some reason. Alright, I want this help mode gone. I want it gone, but I can't close it. That seems like an annoyance. Now my question is, where is the X that should allow me to exit this documentation? Oi, listen now, you need to close. Why are you open? How do I do that? I've been defeated by a help menu. Please tell me nothing. Back home, open help mode. No, I don't want to do any of that. Come on. Just get out of here, dude. Just let's make you bigger and see. I want you gone. Leave. It's not that. Where's the X's at? Let me just close that. Save all. No, you just stay here. Cool. How to close Qt6 help mode. I'm 100% sure that the solution is staring me in the face, but I'm sure if I do that, no, let's see. I wonder. Let me click on this and press F1, okay? Oh, okay. So it was just use the escape character. I mean the escape escape key. No member named args in QString. I'm going to have a hissy fit. Let's go back here. Cool. And I see args down here somewhere. Arg. Now suddenly it's gone. Wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Let's see. I'm just going to put it back as how it was, and I will live with the consequences of my actions. .org, and that's m underscore dot toString, cool, and .org m underscore booking date dot toString, cool. And this is something that I want to check. Let me go to a QDate and open up the documents, and let's see how the toString function works. It returns a data as a string. The format parameter determines the format of the result string. If CAL is supplied, it determines the calendar used to represent the date. It defaults to Gregorian, okay. And then I have an expression that I can pass here. Let me copy an example. So date, month, year. That's fine. So date dot month dot year. Cool. That seems fine. Let's see, everything should be cool. If I go back here and I include my registration. Oh, by the way, why is this a composition relationship? Let's consider it. Notice, we have a variable called m underscore attendee, which is of type person. Therefore, if for whatever reason we did not create the person class and we tried to create an object or even just try to create the class registration, it would not be possible. Why? Because registration is composed of an object of type person. In other words, it cannot exist without the constitute elements. And that is composition in a nutshell. Very straightforward. Now that I have all of that, let me create a registration. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the booking date should actually also be set here. Uh, current date, right? That's where it should be, otherwise it wouldn't have any value. Registration, and I'm going to pass in P1. I don't need to pass in standard fee because that's set. I shouldn't need to pass in an object. Yeah, because I just pass in A and everything else gets set for me. Cool. P1. Okay. Different type. Registration was person, not previous definition. No, that should be right because registration takes in a person called A and M underscore attendee is a person and it supplies a person here. Oh, it's because I'm doing a redefinition. I'm doing circular. I'm trying to recreate the person. Okay, I see what's happening. Cool. So in actual reality, I should pass in. Let me get rid of all of this. Registration reg1 and see I need a person. Okay. So let's see if I pass in P1. Cool. And if I just do qdebug, let me check something first. Okay, cool. Let me check reg1 dot attendee, calculate fees, get attendee, standard fee. Let's do toString. Control B, Control R. Azura affiliated with Dogs of Doom at papas.com, and then it passes in a date. So cool, all of that is working. Let me also include a toString and just say .org. But I'm gonna have an issue here. If I do 14.2, I'll have to pass in another QString. And I can pass in a char, another. So if I pass in calculate fee, and I obviously get an error. I mean, of course I would. Conversion from double to qchar. I wonder. QString. I should be able to pass in a number and return the QString or just a string version of that. Is it in the namespace? There's something that I'm missing, something obvious. There is some parameter that I'm forgetting about. I know it's QString and value, no. Number, that's what it is. Calculate fee, which returns a double, which is fine. And that should all be good. Now if I go to my main and I do Control S to save, Control B to bold, let me zoom in, and a Control R to run. There we go. Azura affiliated with the Dogs of Doom, papas at papas.com, today's date, and 500. Alright, and that is it. And that is how we can go from UML to effective code implementation. Now obviously we still have 3 more classes to do, but that we will get done tomorrow. I'll allocate a few more hours because instead of me working 30 minutes and getting all of the functionality done with. Because reality being I have other things to do. Okay, cool.